Marty, I am who I am because of my parents. And he laughed. He said, I can't believe you did that in a year. Because I used to say, I am who I am in spite of my parents. Right? That's kind of like pointing the finger. You know, we were just talking about American Indian. The American Indians believe that when you point the finger at someone else, there's 3 fingers pointing back at you. So you get 3 times the blame that you're trying to put on someone else. Right? And so you take all of these different concepts and you try to find, like, what is it that brings you to that peaceful place in your life? Because that is the ultimate goal. Before you leave this earth and you transcend into the next level, what is it that will help you find peace and harmony, that acceptance without being complacent? Because I know a lot of people who are complacent. They really don't care about anything in the world other than themselves, right? And sometimes it's just survival, right? You probably have met people that the only thing they really care about is what they need to do to get through today, next week, a month. And for them to even go beyond that is a challenge. So I started chasing, at 24 years old, everything I could find. Workshops, books, people. I'd go out and listen to people speaking. You know, I met amazing people. You know, my mind just flashed through all the faces of the people that I met who were authors, who, you know, had these like little pieces, you know, this little key, like taking a jigsaw puzzle and they had one piece to add to the puzzle. And then I met this chiropractor in Walnut Creek who actually had studied with a chiropractor who is over in Denver, and they came up with this process through chiropractic work where they could make the adjustment last. How many of you have ever been to a chiropractor? Does the adjustment last forever? No. No? Well, this process did so well that the chiropractor called me maybe a year after I hadn't been, and he said, Sharon, you have to come in at your birthday. And I said, oh, I don't need to come in. I don't have anything going on. Now, I had a brittle back. I was actually told that I would be in a wheelchair the rest of my life. They were going to fuse my lumbar. I had a whiplash so severe that if I turned my head would actually lock in place and I'd have to walk around until I went back into the chiropractor. I mean, so I've had lots of back issues. And to go a whole year and not need an adjustment, that was pretty incredible. So I went in and he went to do the adjustment and he said, you don't need an adjustment. Because of the work that he did. It was so powerful to take the emotions out of the body that are tied to the physical dysfunction. And that was the beginning of my knowledge of how to remove the negative emotions. So in 1998, I volunteered to take the Buddhist monks all around the Bay Area. Have you ever seen them make the sand mandalas?
Mm-hmm. Yes. They do it here.
Isn't it amazing? And then they just scrape it up into Tupperware. Isn't that ridiculous? You know, and then we drove them to the water, and then they dumped the sand out into the water so that everywhere that the water forced the sand off in another direction was blessed by the work that they did. So we were walking back to the car, and I asked one of the monks, I think this is so cool, what's your favorite thing about being in the United States? And he said, your hamburgers. And I said, I thought you didn't eat meat. And he said, there are no rules. Isn't that cool? There are no rules. There's no shoulds. There's no woulds. There's no judgment. And then he reached out and he touched my hand. And he said, Sharon, you're the only person I've ever met in the United States who has no negative emotion in your physical body. I thought, I won. I won. I finally won. Can you imagine, after years and years, I was 48 years old when I finally had this sense of complete peace. Like I can actually have chaos all around me and be in total peace within myself. Because I recognize what I can change and what I can't. If somebody else wants to be going through their trauma,